You are listening to Waywut. This is a rabbit hole podcast where we cover topics ranging from sports to true crime and pop culture to weird facts. Just a little bit of everything. Really, it's just a couple of guys taking turns to present weird topics to each other. We publish episodes weekly and truly appreciate you joining us. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's get this episode started. Here we go. Hey everyone, I just wanted to pop in before this episode started for a few quick announcements. First, thank you so much for watching or listening. We were prepared to be doing this for just 4 or 5 people for forever. And the amount of people that have been listening and or watching, it's just been like more than we could ask for. Well, we could ask for more, but yeah, we want more. Second, happy birthday, Jason. This is an extra episode just to celebrate Jason's birthday. He's getting older, so the old man jokes that he just keeps doing are not going to stop. They're just going to get worse. Third, to reduce the value of this celebration, we're going to start putting out extra episodes every Friday for at least the next month. We've had just an insane amount of fun doing this, and we've kind of gotten out of hand whenever it comes to our writing, and we don't really want to sit on episodes for like months or anything like that. So we're going to put out a second episode every week until we get tired of doing a second episode every week. So we'll still be going on Tuesdays, but we'll start putting some out on Fridays. And then once we get tired of that, we'll just go back to just Tuesdays only. You know, unless there's something we want to celebrate or if we end up having like way too much fun again. Finally, recently we were mentioned on one of my favorite podcasts, which is like insane. I've been listening to Leroy Luna's show, Excuse Me, That's Illegal, for the past few years. It was the second podcast I ever really got into. There was like true crime ones a true crime one that I kind of got into, and then one day it was mentioned, like he mentioned us about this show called Excuse Me, That's Illegal, and I've enjoyed listening to it. I've followed it, and I've been listening to it the past few years, and get my wife to listen to it, got Jason to listen to it. It's a great show, and it was kind of an inspiration for the format of this show. Because what he does is instead of your true crime that's all gory and gross and like depressing, it's fun stuff. Not fun stuff, but it's lightweight. It's nothing. It's ridiculous and it's funny. So being able to sit there and take something that people might not know about and then make fun of it, it's kind of what we do. And his show was kind of the inspiration for that. So I would like to thank Leroy for being so kind, for just talking about our show on his show and giving us some tips on how we can promote and spread the word about our show. It was super cool. I mean, it's insanely cool. I was really giddy. All that aside, all of you listening or watching this should go to wherever you listen to podcasts and pull up Excuse Me, That's Illegal, and start listening. It is, as he puts it, softcore true crime. He goes over like just low stake crimes that happen all over the world, like people pooping in yards or molesting pool floaties or getting drunk and breaking into restaurants, or like this dude that breaks into a bakery and steals a bunch of cupcakes. It's super funny. It's always super funny. I mean, it's nobody ever getting killed or molested or anything bad like that. It is just usually somebody drunk or perverted or just weird, and it's fun to listen to. It's incredibly well done, and I aspire for our show to be sound as good as his someday. So in the description for this episode, you'll see the link to his Spotify, his Apple Podcast page, and just go listen to him and show him some love, because I'm sure you're going to love the show once you listen to it. You can just grab an episode wherever and just listen. I started from episode 1 and I'm still listening today. So to recap, Uh, thank you for watching or listening. Happy birthday, Jason. And we'll have an extra episode every week for at least a month. And finally, go listen to Excuse Me, That's Illegal. Go right now. Go subscribe. Uh, well, after you enjoy this episode, that's just going to go ahead and start right now. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Waywut. My name is Darrell, and please know that by now. I want to be famous. And here I am with the president of the Involuntary Spelunker Society, Jason.
Voluntary.
Involuntary.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't go into caves on purpose.
No.
No
way.
It's against your will.
Yeah, unless it's the cave ride at Six Flags. That's the only cave I've ever been in.
It's the Spelunker cave again.
Is it?
Yeah, they took all the Looney Tunes out and put those weird little gremlin-looking things back in there.
I can't believe they still have those things.
I think they probably did new ones. I hope they did new ones. I don't know. I used to love it when I was a kid, except whenever you go through the part with the lightning on the walls, that used to always freak me out. I didn't like that.
That would be our ride to cool off.
Yeah, it was a good one for it, too. It was cold as hell in there. Especially after you did something stupid like ride one of the rafting rides and you're soaked.
The log ride.
You go over there and just fuck, it's cold.
Smelling like sewer water. Oh, but what fun it was.
Makes me think of that episode of The Simpsons whenever Lisa drinks the water on the ride and she starts hallucinating and shit. And she's like running around naked screaming that she's the lizard queen. That being said, any children that are listening to this, stop listening to this. And 2, don't drink water out of rides. You'll probably die. All right. Okay, so speaking of like, oh my God, you'll probably die, I'm going to start today's thing off with a bit of a paranoid man rant. Because, I mean, I'll admit I'm a cautious. I'm a cautious individual. Mostly,
Yes,
like I've done some reckless things like skydiving and stuff like that, but I am a cautious person, and the older I get, the more fragile I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are days when I feel like I'm just rolling the dice over and over and over, and I'm just lucky I haven't crapped out yet. Like it's like when's something gonna go wrong? Like whether it's like some idiot driving off an overpass and landing on my car, or I eat something while I'm at home alone and I choke to death all by myself. Whatever the case may be. Not that I'm paranoid, nothing, but I am paranoid. And the thing is, I don't live a high-risk lifestyle. I don't do drugs. I don't drink very often. And I don't drive fast. That's not my style.
You gamble. You're a good gambler.
Well, I don't like gamble with the mafia or anything. I'm not like in a basement somewhere playing cards with John Malkovich or something.
No.
I go to casinos, and then whenever I lose my money, I leave.
It's risky. I mean, I've never seen you put down your
But it's
your
not
mortgage.
a high risk. It's not a high risk lifestyle. When I mean high risk lifestyle, I mean like people that are like, man, I only snort coke every other month, or whatever the case may be. I like driving a motorcycle without a helmet. That's a high risk lifestyle. However, it doesn't matter how careful you are, because sometimes God is like, you know what? Fuck you, especially. And then something crazy happens, and that 18-wheeler I was talking about earlier falls off the overpass, squishes your cars, and you're just this pancake under it. And that happened once in Dallas, where an 18-wheeler fell off of a bridge, crushed a car, and this poor girl died underneath it. And it was like God was just like, yeah, screw you.
Yep. Happens a lot.
I mean, I feel like a fortunate person, but I don't feel like a lucky person. So I'm paranoid of just dying because I'm unlucky. Just having an unlucky death. I mean, like right now, I feel like my life is going really well. And because of that, I'm certain that I'll be walking out of a grocery store in the middle of the suburbs, and a rodeo bull that escaped from a trailer will just come by and trample me, and then calmly go to sleep next to my corpse. I'll be the only person it kills. I mean, and stuff like that sticks. People won't remember your name. You're just the Greek guy from a couple thousand years ago that died after an eagle dropped a turtle on your head.
Yeah.
Again, real. The only thing that makes it worse now is that it'll get recorded. Somebody will shoot video, and you'll watch the video of the guy minding his own business at a gas station when a tire flies off of a truck on the highway, rolls hundreds of yards at 60 miles an hour all on its own, and then just completely wipes you out. People watch that video all the time.
I've seen that. Well,
Yeah.
can we retract for a second?
Yeah,
You said a guy has died from getting a head or a turtle getting dropped on his head by an eagle?
Yeah, there was a famous Greek playwright, and they say it was because he was bald. That's what they say back then. That it's because he was bald, and it shined that the eagle thought it was a rock, and so he dropped the turtle on there to crack its shell.
Crack it.
Instead, it dropped it on that dude's head. And
I knew there was a reason why I wear hats.
So eagles don't drop turtles on your head?
Absolutely. That shit's shining better than ever right now.
Yeah, well, am I neurotic to worry about these things?
No.
Yes. No. I am. But is it unrealistic that any of these things could happen to me? No, it is perfectly within reality. So if I get killed by Final Destination, with some Final Destination like series of coincidences that ends up with me impaled by a pool noodle, just know my last thoughts were, fucking knew it. So
a pool noodle, that thing must be moving.
Hey, we live in Tornado Alley. That's more than possible.
Oh man,
have a
getting
pool noodle
impaled by a limp noodle.
By a pool noodle, yes. Knowing my luck, it'll be like a pink one.
Yeah, you used to getting impaled by rigid, stiff.
Shut up! That'd be gross. Nasty bastard. All right. Speaking of nightmarish bad luck, today we're going to talk about sinkholes.
All right.
But not sinkholes that happen and people see it and just freak out by them. We're going to talk about God pushing the delete button and the earth opening up out of nowhere and gobbling someone up.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, not just those sinkholes. It's like, oh, wow, man, did you see that sinkhole over there? No. This is one where God's all like, hey, watch this. Dude, watch. And ground opens up to eat somebody. Just like that.
Man, what a way to go.
Yep. Well, to start with, what is a sinkhole? Scientifically, it's when groundwater gradually dissolves soluble rock like salt or gypsum, limestone, or some carbonate rocks. And it creates an underground space that grows and grows and grows until the surface on top of it collapses. In reality, it's a way for the earth to say, you're going to walk on me? Bitch, you thought.
Well, pull this right out from underneath you.
Yeah. Surprise, motherfucker!
You ain't stepping here.
Yeah. There are lots of sinkholes. And some of them end up making really cool videos, like whenever they happen under a lake, which that's happened before. It'll just happen under a lake, and it'll just start draining that lake like a big sink. And
that'd
do
be
like
weird.
A big whirlpool and stuff. Yeah, no, there's videos
Someone
of it.
Plug it back in.
Super cool. But for the most part, it's these big deep holes that just appear out of nowhere. One day there's ground, next day there's not. It's just gone. However,
that kind of leads credence to the hollow earth theory.
Not really.
I mean,
no, not really.
I can see why. Where does it all go? Where does it all go?
I mean, the crust is like 15 miles thick. I mean, how are we even going to get?
I don't know.
Hollow earth is stupid.
It is stupid, but I can see why they would think. So the flat earth, but I could see why they would think about some of it. Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue.
I'm sorry. I'm just in the middle of losing respect for you. Hold on. Let me get over that for a second. All right, I'm good now.
All right. You got it back? All right, good.
All right. There are times when a person or people are standing in the exact wrong spot at the exact wrong time, and the ground that they are on just disappears. The first one of these that really got under my skin is the story of 37-year-old Jeff Bush. Jeff Bush was a man in Florida. Fortunately, he wasn't a Florida man, just a man in Florida.
Oh, a man in Florida, the last name of Bush. Any relation?
No, because he just lived in a regular old house. But unfortunately, Florida is a state that generally has a lot of sinkholes because they got to have some place to store all their meth.
Well, the whole state's sinking.
Yeah. In early 2013, as he slept in his bedroom, a 20-foot wide sinkhole opened up right beneath his bedroom.
20 foot wide.
20 feet wide. Jeff's brother, Jeremy, woke up after hearing crashing noises and hearing Jeff scream. He ran to Jeff's room to see a giant hole, no floor, no furniture, no Jeff. You open a door, and where there used to be a room, there's just a big hole in the ground.
Holy crap.
Jeremy jumped into the hole, saying he could hear his brother calling for help, but the hole continued to grow, and the other family members that were in the house had to pull Jeremy out so that he wouldn't fall in. Rescue workers put a microphone down into the hole and heard nothing. So Jeff was declared dead.
Wow. So do sinkholes stop? I know that sounds stupid, but
yeah, no, it stops whenever it gets to non-soluble rock.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's once all the water washes away all the stuff that it that's soluble, that it can gradually just kind of dilute and break apart. It's kind of like aquifers and whenever those are underground, it's within soluble rock on top of non-soluble rock. So eventually there is a layer of rock underneath that all that water is sitting on top of and wouldn't be able to continue the hole.
Okay.
All right. So Jeff's dead. The house was demolished and his body was never recovered. An environmental scientist said that the hole was 60 feet deep and any attempt to recover the body would be difficult, dangerous, and expensive.
Expensive. That should not have been an excuse. They might have left that one out.
The difficult and dangerous is still good enough.
Yeah, you don't have to throw in an expensive too.
So they filled the hole with gravel, and that spot just became Jeff's grave. Until it reopened in 2013, and they had to fill it again.
Tell me they didn't build a house on top of it.
No.
Okay.
But then, after they refilled it, the hole reopened up again, and they had to fill it again in 2015. So it just kept just gobbling up,
eating
more
it.
And more.
Yeah.
Now, it might be done gobbling up the ground now, but with the hell on earth that is Florida, I wouldn't want to walk on that spot. And you can't. They have it completely fenced off. They have this one little chunk of land just fenced off. You can't go there, and people have a little memorial up for Jeff guy.
Well, you would think if a sinkhole was there, the land around it would also be susceptible to other sinkholes.
I mean, all of Florida is, and technically anywhere really. Just depends on what the soil contents are, or not even what the topsoil content is. Way down under you. This one really freaked me out whenever it first happened.
What year did that one happen?
I think I said 2013. I might have been wrong though. Let's see. I'm going to Google because I did some tweaking on this script. Bush sinkhole 2013. Yeah, killed a man in 2013.
Is it weird that sinkholes are they a new thing? I mean, have you found an old sinkhole?
They've been around forever.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they've been around forever. Anytime you hear a cenote in Mexico, that's a sinkhole. It's basically a sinkhole that got filled up with water. Yeah. So, I mean, I knew about sinkholes before, but I mean, this one really freaked me out because I didn't know they get you at home like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
suck up half your house.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy, the brother that tried to save him, he said they had an inspector check the house a couple months before it happened, and they were like, "No, everything's good here." And then that's it, because no one can really predict these. I mean, they don't know how deep they have to go under to check for that, you know, for that rock. I mean, you essentially, it's like, okay, dig a well, like super deep like that. Yeah. So they keep that memorial there, and on, just beyond behind that fence for Jeff, and it will stay there until the ground decides to open up again and swallow it, and then they'll have to refill it and do another memorial. So
Rinse and repeat.
yeah, because I mean, apparently that just that particular spot of ground, just like, I'm hungry, nom 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 nom.
Yeah, maybe quit feeding it rocket likes.
Maybe. All right, now on to 2022.
All right.
In a town called Karmi Yosef in Israel.
Well,
Yeah, Karmi Yosef. There was a company sponsored pool party, which, I mean, I love the sound of it, but I mean, that's a terrible idea. I mean, like,
yeah,
yeah,
you're asking
I mean,
for HR nightmare.
well, yeah, I mean, come on, like, think about it. I mean, you're
Pool
basically
party,
getting to see
liquor.
what like hot Jan at work looks like in her underwear.
Yeah, it ain't gonna go off well.
Yeah. All right. While 6 people were in the pool having fun doing pool things, a sinkhole opened up right underneath it. There's video of this one that you can go
Oh,
out and look at.
underneath the pool.
Yep. Sinkhole opens up underneath the pool. You start seeing the water start draining towards the center.
Did they start going a certain around like
A
this?
little bit, yeah.
Oh,
So people start screaming. I mean, it's really fast though, so you don't get to do a lot of that. So people are screaming. They're trying to get away from it, and all the pull floats just gradually are pulled towards the center of that and down into the hole.
damn!
And eventually, you just have this this empty pool with a hole that's full of pull floaties.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, during all of this, 2 people were caught in the suction of the draining water.
Oh, of course they
Yeah.
were.
One of them was an unnamed 34-year-old man. He was able to climb his way out of the hole with minor injuries to his head and his like arms and legs. So I mean, it pulled him in, but he was able to catch himself. Unfortunately, 32-year-old Khalil Kimhi, I'm not good with the Hebrew names. Khalil Kimhi,
Nailed it.
yeah, he was found dead in the sinkhole after hours of searching.
How big does it say? How big the hole was in the pool for him to get sucked through?
Whenever you see it, I want to say it's like maybe 4 feet wide, something like that, 3 4 feet wide.
Oh, okay. So it's not very big. So
No, it's not like the Jeff one where it like ate up an entire room. It wasn't the entire. If the entire bottom fell out of that pool, there'd be a lot more dead people in this
I've just
case.
seen how small it was. If he was getting drugged through a smaller hole or a
So even this one, it wasn't that it was like insanely deep or anything like that. He just got caught in all that rushing water and it drowned him. I mean, so yeah. When you watch the video, you can see just how fast it all happens. I mean, it's not a really big pool or nothing. It's not like Olympic size or nothing like that. But if you were like right by it whenever it opened up, you wouldn't have a chance. It would just suck you right down.
damn.
Yeah. Right now we're going to jump to 2020 in northwestern China, in a city I don't want to try to pronounce.
Oh, come on, give it a try.
Xining.
Nailed it. Perfect.
Maybe.
Absolutely perfect.
Xining. So,
Mm-hmm.
in in China, in that city, a bus does what buses do, and it stops at a bus stop because that's what happens. Surveillance video shows people getting on the bus when a sinkhole opens up right underneath it. The front of the bus falls into a hole along with a lamppost and the people that were waiting in line to get on the bus.
Oh my gosh.
The ground just opens up and just eats it all. You can see a man like grabbing a baby from the edge of the hole and taking it to safety. It's It's like super close. It's like, holy crap. I mean, like, get you. He returned to the hole with some others to help a woman who's hanging on the edge. It's like, dude's a hero.
Yeah.
Then the ground beneath them collapses and they all fell in. I
Wow.
mean, at least he was able to save the baby.
Yeah.
Because right after this, there's a series of explosions in the sinkhole. So it isn't bad enough that it just opened up and just swallowed people. Shit starts like blowing up right underneath there.
Like the gas lines or whatever was going down in there. Gasoline.
Well, as good as our Chinese overlords are at everything, they are not very good at news follow ups. So when it comes to this, what I know is the initial reports said that there were 6 dead. Later, some said that 9 people died with 4 missing and at least 16 people injured. There's been nothing written about this ever since. So I have no idea if it was bus parts blowing up, gas lines blowing up, or whatever. I don't even really know how many people are dead for sure. There's only one named victim, and I don't think it's fair to point them out, especially since they didn't even name the guy that saved the baby. If there's anybody I'm going to talk about, it's going to be the guy that saved the baby. But when all was said and done, the hole was 860 square feet, so that's about the size of my first apartment.
Dang. Like you said, we talked about the randomness of it. Like you said, with them being several feet to several dozen feet or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that big. And like you said, it does make you wonder being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's all it is. That is exactly all it is. It's just in the wrong spot at the exact wrong time. It'd be like some fool getting like a meteor just coming down and just caving a dude's head in.
Yeah.
All right, 2018. A sinkhole opened up in the Spring River in Arkansas. Seems like so much of my stuff ends up having to do with Arkansas, and I don't know why. It ain't
Man.
exactly my favorite place. 64-year-old man. What?
Maybe that's why it's not your favorite place. So much shit goes on there.
Maybe. 64-year-old man named Donald Wright was kayaking with some residents of a halfway house that he ran. Sinkholes apparently don't like it when people do good things, like rescue babies or try to help people get back on their feet after, doing time in jail.
Or riding a bus.
Yeah. So a couple of the people, of his residents were from his halfway house were in a canoe that capsized, and they were in danger of getting caught into this whirlpool because a sinkhole just opened up underneath the river. So sinkhole opens up, whirlpool starts happening, canoe capsizes, 2 of the people that he's there to take care of fall in. Donald goes to save them. One of the people was able to swim to shore. One of those people was pulled in, but they survived. They survived being pulled into the cave that the water was flooding into. So he's pulled into the cave, but he got into like an air pocket or whatever, or wherever it spit him out. He was fine. That guy was later taken to the hospital, and then they let him go. And you're like, you're good. However, Donald, his kayak was overturned, and he hit his head against their canoe. Whenever his kayak went over, he banged his head on their capsized canoe, and he was knocked unconscious, and so he drowned whenever it pulled him in.
Oh.
Yeah. So bedrooms, pools, streets, rivers, anywhere
Nowhere
you're
safe.
at, it could just open right the fuck up and just eat you alive. But I've saved one for last. And I saved this one particularly for you, Jason.
Oh, good. Is
Yeah.
it eat a bunch of rats or something?
No, it's just I don't want this episode to be full of death. So I'm going to go ahead and spoil this now. This guy survived. So in 2020, 33-year-old New Yorker Leonard Shoulders was walking on a sidewalk in the Bronx when a 15-foot deep hole opened beneath him. Leonard was trapped underground for 30 minutes as people worked to rescue him. At the bottom of the sinkhole, Leonard lay on the ground covered in rats.
Oh,
Just covered in rats. His brother was quoted
he
saying
should
that
have
he
died
was.
on impact.
Leonard's brother was quoted saying that he was afraid to yell because he didn't want them to go into his mouth.
Yeah. He has every right to. Yeah, this is the worst one ever. You said this is a good story. It
He
would have been
survived.
better if he
He
was.
survived. He
No,
survived.
but he's scarred for the rest of his life.
Well, Leonard suffered injuries to his limbs, head, and face from the fall
Yeah,
and
his brain, his
various
mental
debris falling
capacity.
on him.
Yeah, he ain't the same.
They didn't act. The article didn't say if any of the rats bit him, so
They
I
did.
don't know if he
They
got bit.
a lot.
You
There's
don't
no
know
doubt
that.
about it.
What if the
They're
rats were the
rats.
ones trying? The rats could have been trying to save him.
No, they bite. They're just going to bite you to bite you. We're going to figure out what this thing is I'm crawling on by biting it.
That's not true. You can't
Absolutely.
know it.
Yeah.
You can't know that.
They bit him. They're rats.
I mean, I will say I've heard New York rats are like
Giant.
huge, just huge. I mean,
Yeah.
and like that rat you had in your backyard that one time was pretty big. That rat I saw in Venice was not very big. That was a little rat.
Dumpy ass. He had a weird looking butt.
I think he'd gotten messed up by something. I think that was like he got fucked up.
All right, like he was
Now
stuck
the
in a
Philippines, I saw a pretty big rat there before, but I've also seen a smaller one. I mean, I got to watch Tom and Jerry live action there, with a rat getting chased by a stray cat.
Didn't you video that one for me too?
Yeah, I did. You just hear squeak, just dead rat.
Yeah, that was great. That was my ringtone for a little while.
Well, I mean, I think this is where I want to go ahead and end this. I think we can, leave this episode here, and that will leave Jason able to try to start smoking the memory of that last sinkhole out of his head.
Shit on nightmares. Not only you get sucked down in a sinkhole, but let's add a little salt to your wound. Let's throw some fucking rats in there. Why don't we?
I'm telling
You're now
you,
miserable enough. Let me throw in some rats. He was meant to die on impact. He was meant to die on impact. He lived.
I meant what I said at the beginning. This is seriously like God saying, you know what? Fuck you especially. Because, just in that wrong spot at that exact wrong time, and then just fuck you. That's it. That's all it is. I would be offended. I would totally be offended if any of that ever happened to me. I'd be, I would go to a priest or something and I'd be like, I need you to take a message. I am particularly.
I got a complaint.
I'd like to file a complaint. I'm being harassed.
Yeah, just 3 letters. WTF.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
What the fuck did I do?
I think my prayer punch card is like completely full. So you and every other priest within a 2,000-mile radius need to sit there and pray over my picture and make him not be mean to me no more. So that's how I feel about sinkholes.
I'll say that last one. Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, to everyone listening, keep your feet on the ground and be grateful if it stays there. Avoid rats, and join us next time whenever Jason will tell us about some stuff that'll make us say, wait, what?
See y'all. Maybe. As long as I don't get sucked up in a hole.
Enjoy thinking about the rats. Bye. Thank you for listening to Wait What? We really appreciate it. Remember that we post episodes every Tuesday, and we'll throw an extra one on Fridays if we feel like it. Don't count on it. You never know. We would love for you to follow and rate us, review us, anything on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Pandora, or just wherever else you listen to the podcast at. If you're watching this on YouTube, throw us a comment, subscribe, notification bell, do all the things that YouTube likes for you to do so that, makes other people actually possibly find our videos. You can also stalk us on Facebook, X, or TikTok. Just search for the handle Waywut Podcast, WAYWUT Podcast. Once again, thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit, and join us next time. We'll get you to say, wait, what?